More junk from the usual place. I'm not really sure what these bits are for, but that doesn't really matter. This is apparently a charger. And looks like you can, don't know, that's some sort of USB, plugs into there. Don't know what that is there, I don't know if that's a button for a switch or something. Don't know anything about it. Charges iPods, cell phones and other devices. Well, how does it? What, you can put a battery in there? I don't understand this at all. I don't understand how that works. Mobile power charger. It will only become a charger once you put a battery in it. But do you put the battery in it to charge the battery up, or do you put a charged battery in here and take power out of there? Don't think these have got much power in them, but we could see what happens. Put that in there. Oop. Screw that onto there. So what does this do, I wonder then? Oh, when we press that we get a green light. Oh, we get a flashing green light. And then the flashing green light goes out. Oh, well, I have no idea what that means. And I don't know if that's supposed to be power in or power out. I think we better do some searching on the internet and see if we can find out what this thing is meant to do. No idea. And then these two batteries are not actually Ryobi ones, they look like some sort of copy brand. It says VHBW on it. You can see that it's led a bit of a hard life. And that goes in there. It's a bit like screwing a bottle top on. Well, we've got a light. Oh, got some movement there. Go back the other way. Nothing. Back that way. Oh, now we're back to nothing again. So it looks like we've got a bad connection. Oh, we've got some movement again. Back the other way. Nothing. So the light always comes on, but we've got some sort of bad connection with this switch. Oh, that worked. Oh, it's trying to work both ways, so maybe it's just in the switch connection. So it's sort of half-hearted working. I need to get these batteries charged up and find out if they're any good. But once they're on charge, I think we'll take this apart and have a look. Right, I thought we'd test these back, and you can see that it comes out at 4.01, which strikes me as pretty good. That one says 4.08, which again is reasonably good. Oh, that's 4.04. So they've all got a reasonable amount of charge in them as batteries go, so this thing obviously is struggling to go, so maybe not the battery, but we'll charge those up anyway. Right, that's the battery cap off. The screws appear to be T9, just like some of the Bosch tools. So I haven't got anything that small to go in a power screwdriver, so we have to do this by hand. Right, one. 2, same length. Three, is that the same length? Yep, 3. 4. 5. Let's see anything else. No. So does that just come apart? Apparently not. Oh no. Oh, it's got the clip inside there that you sometimes see on these. It's a long way in. That's unusual. There we go. So we've got one of those slide clips. Now does it want to come apart? Oh, there we go. It's starting to come apart. It's getting stuck on something. Oh no, there it goes. Yuck. Yes, it's fairly messy inside. Oh, that's where the battery seems to make some sort of contact there. I've not seen that sort of idea before. It seems to press up against it. I guess that's just to hold the battery tight rather than do anything else. This looks exactly like the sort of switch system you see on Bosch's, which is interesting. Lift that up a bit, will that come out? So there's a switch. Does this lift out yet? Not yet. That's, oh, there's our direction change switch. Seems undamaged, so that's okay. This, let me just put a pair of tweezers on this spring because I don't want to go chasing it around. Oh, it's not trying to fly off, so that's good. So we've got that. Now what else have we got? We've got the light goes into there, but that's just an LED, so we know that. They're soldered on. Here's our gear change mechanism, just like in a bigger drill you would normally find that sort of system. That just goes into there. It's going into a little slot down there, so you might be able to just pick that out. I have to try and remember this. There's a black wire goes round right down at the bottom there across and then down this way to the circuit board. And then this black wire and red wire go across through there, and then there's another black wire going up there, so they're in really tight. They must have been pressed down quite hard when it was made. Oh, there we go. That's all starting to lift out. The light is starting to come loose, so we can get all of that out of the way. Let's see if this is loose enough to come off. Alright, so the change direction switch will come off. Now what about this? It looks like we should have taken this off before. Never mind, we'll worry about that in a moment. There's the light. It's not a tight fit, so that's okay. What is that? Oh, that is strange. Where did that come from? Oh, that is odd. It seems to want to go around there. I can't imagine what that's for. Right, I'm assuming that we can twist these two parts and get the motor off. So if I twist like that and then pull, not quite sure what's going to come out with it. That can go back on there. That metal plate can go back on there. So that's our gearbox assembly. I'll just put that out of the way for a moment. Oh, that's unusual, that motor. That gives no resistance at all to spin. And these have usually got quite strong magnets in them, and when you go to spin them you can feel the magnets are inside. Right, for quick test purposes I've just connected my 18650 power pack, positive to the bottom pin here, negative to that side pin there, which also connects to this, which I haven't worked out what that's supposed to do. Selection switch is in the middle, and if I press this we get the light, so we've obviously got some power. Now if I push that down, I need to watch. I'll try and put my hand on this because I don't want it jumping around. Nothing. Bring this up the other way. Oh. That's up. Got power that way. In the middle we don't expect anything. Other way. Oh, and this time it's going. Not sure if the motor is running as well as it could do, but I'm pretty sure that switch is not working properly. Right, I'm going to take this connection plate off that connects the motor to the gearing. Oh, that's tight. Judging by the look of it, it doesn't seem to matter which way it goes, but it might well be that it's got a peg on the back to align it. No, apparently not. Alright, now I think I would prefer the motor to be separate from everything else when I give this a good clean. This stray wire with the clip doesn't appear to attach to anything, it appears to just press against the case. I'm not sure if that's something to do with any electronics on here. Doesn't look like it, doesn't look very complicated at all, the electronics. Doesn't look like there's anything on there that's anything to do with charge control or anything like that. That's presumably the batteries are charged by the charger, and this doesn't have anything to do with it. I think they're MOSFETs, so they might be something to do with the amount of power that this thing puts out, so it sort of controls, well not this thing, but the battery, so it controls the power from the battery to the motor. I'm not an electronics expert, but that would be my best guess. So next thing, I'd like to unsolder that motor and get it out of the way. I'll just use this G-clamp to hold onto it while I'm pulling it. There we go, that's one out, so that's the minus. There we are. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of alcohol on the cloth and give the outside of this a wipe, because it's covered in, well, I don't really know what. Looks like shavings from woodwork and oil and grease. That's a spot of paint. So I think whoever was using it got a bit carried away with the paint sometimes, and some of it's ended up inside. I've seen some YouTubers gaily spraying cleaning sprays all over motors, but I'm not convinced that that does them any good. And especially if you take the oil out of the bearings, because obviously there's a tiny little brass bearing or bronze bearing on each end of the motor. Oh, it says Johnson on it, so it's a Johnson motor, and that must be all the numbers. Right, now how does that compare? Now that's off. Get a little power supply out. Right, we'll put minus on there. And let's see what we get when we touch it. Leave it a bit longer. Well, I think that's probably sounding okay. We'll try running it backwards. Oops, I'm touching that. That was my fault. Well, that seems pretty good to me, so maybe we can put a little drop of oil on it. A tiny little drop of oil, see if I can encourage that to sink down inside into the bearing. I'll try a tiny little drop on this end as well. And you really do need a tiny little drop. Alright, let's see what we've got, see if that helps. Oh, it's quieter already, isn't it? And if we go over to the other sides, we'll spin it the other way. There's just a slight waver in the tone, as if it's not quite at full strength, but I don't think that's bad. You can feel the air blowing out of here, so that's not doing too bad. It seems to be turning over okay, so I think that's probably alright. On the circuit board, I'm just going to put a little bit of alcohol on it and give it a brush with a tiny little paintbrush. And that will almost certainly take off the worst of any dirt. It doesn't need to be a fantastic job. I'm not going to put too much on the switch because the switch appears to be working fine, so I don't want to upset the switch contacts if I don't have to. Alright, let's have a look at this other side. Same thing again, a little bit of alcohol. Brush round. I think it's mostly just dirt and dust that's on here. Right, I've got the screwdriver just resting against the bottom of the switch, and I'm just running across these terminals and trying to press down on the switch housing at the same time. I must say I'm not convinced anything's moving, but we'll see. Don't know, there's a simple answer to that. Then we need to turn it around, and I can't really get to this side to do the same thing, not easily anyway. I can try there, I suppose. At last! Crikey, that took some effort to get off. Right, there's still lots of solder on this, so I'm going to try and get some of it off with the solder wick. I hate the way I've had to heat this up so much just to get it out though, it's ridiculous. Oh, that's starting to come apart there, that's starting to come apart there. That's come loose now. That's still catching a little bit. Obviously didn't bend that one back enough. There we go. Ugh. Well, it looks actually in reasonably good condition. It's just dirty. So I think we might be okay. Those contacts look fine, they just look dirty, they don't look all burnt. And these look as if they're going to be fine. They're just dirty. So with a bit of luck, that's all going to clean. Got alcohol on there, got alcohol on there. Let's see what the little brush says. Oh, well, it's more dirty than just a little brush can do, but that's cleaned up. You can see that's cleaning up nicely. It's just going to need a little bit of a rub with something slightly more abrasive than this brush can manage. There's a dirty spot just there. It's, the brush can't cope with, but you can see that's cleaning up very well though, considering that it's just a rubbish bristle brush rubbing against it. So I think we're going to be okay there. But of course, now that we've used this, I bet we've lost that red dot that I marked. Yeah, see, that's getting clean even with a finger now. So we'll give that a rub on a cloth in a moment. I think that might be good enough. It might not need anything abrasive. Yep, I've definitely lost my red dot already. Let's have a look at these. Check there's nothing underneath that we need to worry about. No, it looks like inside there is the slidey part, so this should be okay. That's alright. Now it either got some goo in it, like grease or dirt or something into it, or it was originally supplied with a very slight amount of grease. But you wouldn't think there'd be a great deal of grease. Oh, as I say, you'd expect these to be sprung loaded, and they are. Oh, but that one's not. Oh! Ah, so that might be... Yeah, that one is. Ah, that one's jammed. I wonder if that's why we're not getting good contact in both directions. I'm going to need something that can lift those without doing any harm. Come on, lift up. That's lifted up. Oh. Aha, look at that. Now that's what you call a tiny spring. Oh, it's definitely sticking. Okay, it doesn't want to... Oh, that shouldn't be like that. That's ridiculous. It doesn't want to lift up. I can't get that spring out. It seems to be jammed in. And I don't want to keep pulling on it because it's just going to stretch the spring. I have managed to bend this very slightly so that it will go in a little bit better than it did before, and it seems like it might spring up and down. I'm not sure because the spring, yeah, I think if I press it with my nail like that, it seems to be working. It might not show up very well on the video, so I'll get the other one back together again, and then we'll have a go at reassembling the switch. So that's that little spring in there. Oh, that goes down. And then that's our sliding contact. Which doesn't want to go in, whichever way. Oh, there it goes. So we've got that one there, we've got that one there, so hopefully they will slide okay. They're going to slide on there. That's looking reasonably clean now. So they're going to sit there. And that should give us decent contacts. And then we've got this sliding part, which it doesn't look as if it needs very much in the way of cleaning. This part has got two little ridges in it, so those two little ridges allow it to sort of click into place. Right, that's the sliders assembled pack in there, and then this has obviously got to go onto there like that. Yep, that looks like it's on tight. And then we just need probably some long nose pliers so that we can reach that contact, that bit there. That's that bit. I don't know if it shows, but I've put the switch back on, but the tracks are very damaged here, 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 a little bit there. That one's not too bad. There's a big chunk of that one missing, and this one is completely gone. I'm not quite sure what the answer to that one is. I need some way of putting pressure, a little bit of pressure underneath. At least got something to solder onto. So that's that one done. That's strange. The pin on this one seems almost too short, but that's that one. And if we do that one over there, which isn't damaged, and this one here, I'm not really sure what to do because there's nothing there. This one over here, the track is damaged, but hopefully I think there's enough of the track to actually get the pins, and these two pins appear to be connected, and these two look like they're connected as well. But this M1, I don't really know what to do because there's no track. I suppose I can only hope that some of the solder has run through to the other side and caught on the other side. Right, well, as before, with the switch in the middle, if I press the button I get the light, push it up, I get the light and the motor in one direction, but that wasn't the problem because before, hey, we've got the motor in the other direction. Off, nothing. Right, we appear to have motor working in both directions. That's good. I don't usually strip these down much further than this. The gears are usually all okay unless they are obviously damaged when you try and turn it. But this is just a horrible, greasy mess. So I'm almost forced to have a look at some of it, and you can see there's some horrible goo. Sawdust by the looks of things. So it's been well used. I'm not quite sure how this part comes out of here. So I think we'll just work our way in slowly. So we've got that plate. And can we lift this out complete with the 3 wheels? Yep, and so we've got that piece with the 3 wheels on it. Next, that looks like that lifts off, so that's the ring that those run on. Okay. And then we've got can't quite get hold of the next one to see if that will lift out on its own. I was hoping I could lift it out as one piece, but it doesn't seem to want to lift up as one piece. The ring around it seems to want to move. Oh, so there's the ring that sits around the outside of it. Can I spread my tweezers far enough to get hold of that? Yeah, it looks like we can. There's that bit, so that looks like that sits sort of in there. And then we've got another set of, and they look like they're held in. Oh, those pins are tight, they're usually pretty loose, but obviously those are not. What's that one like? Oh, that one's come out. Let's give this one a squeeze with a screwdriver. Crikey, that's tight. Right, nice small pin punch. Oh, there we go. That's one of those out. There's the other one out. Can we lift this out, or have we got to? No, still no sign of that moving. No, I can't get hold of that. These little holes in the side, no. Oh well, looks like we're going to have to take this one out then, in pieces. And that will give me something to get hold of. Oh! Alright, that's what it looks like under there. Up there, that's well gooed. Put those back on there. Right, what have we got here? Right, it's a sort of outside ring for that one. So that's the outside ring for there. And then that looks like a ball bearing for a sort of ratchet mechanism, that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's probably what allows this to do its bump, 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 bump. And then in the bottom here, that's 3, 4, 5, and one that doesn't want to come out, 6. They're the little bits that lock it up so that if you try to twist it from this end, it tries not to twist, and hopefully when it doesn't twist you won't damage anything. Now still can't quite see how we get any further than this. I can't get hold of the ball bearings either, so there's 4 ball bearings in there. I'll worry about getting those out in a moment. I've still got to work out how we get this piece off and how that bit comes off. Oh well, I just turned it upside down and that fell out. One of the ball bearings fell out, so we might as well. That must sit in there. Oh, it's got a sort of metal shield part on top of it. Another ball bearing has fallen out. I'm pretty sure there's 4 of them, so yep, there's another one. And one more. Now sometimes there's a pin, yeah I think there is, there's going to be a pin underneath each one of those. Now what we've got down the bottom there, I can see, is another one of those really small circlips that are very annoying. I would like to show you how I got that circlip off using these 2 picks, but it took a lot of time, a lot of effort and a lot of swearing down inside here. I haven't got a circlip pliers that A are small enough and B would go right down inside there anyway, even if they were small enough. But I've managed to spring the clip off. So there's the clip. I hope I haven't damaged it too much. It looks like it's been bent open, which is not good. But I don't know what else you can do. You just can't get to it. Now, presumably this will come out. And it does. And we just got a ball bearing from somewhere. Oh, we just got more ball bearings from somewhere. Ah, over there. It looks as if we've got something acting as a seal. And underneath that seal, and it looks like this might come off as well. That feels loose. Of course it doesn't want to come off now. Never mind. Let's just get these ball bearings out. Looks like that's all of them out. Got one escaping. Put that down. Oh, stick it to my hand. Right. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So let's hope that that's right, and we need 11 of those. That was on the top of there, and then this, it feels like it's loose. This bit here, yeah, it is loose. It's, oh, there we go, look, it's just a push in. So that just clips in, so that goes on the very top. And then what's this? Have we got yet another circlip? Yep, yet another circlip. with really tiny little holes in it again, but at least it's accessible this time. Right, I can reach it with these circlip pliers, so with a little bit of luck I can get this one. Come on, lift up. No, it doesn't. I'm squeezing it, but it doesn't want to lift up. Let's see if we can just hook the edges. Get under that edge. There we go. It's got tiny little holes in it. And presumably this... Oh, that... Did I lose something? There was a... something sprung then. Oh no, maybe not, because that's 2 ball bearings and then there's 2 springs, so... Does that lift out? Oh, tiny little spring, all covered in grease. Another tiny little spring, all covered in grease. So with a bit of luck, those just go with those. That goes with that. And this presumably carries on unwinding. That sits on the top. This looks like just a metal ring so that you're not pressing directly straight onto the plastic with the spring, so that sits just under the spring. Yeah, and there's those little things that I expected to find underneath. They go with those 4 ball bearings over there. Oh, another one out. One out. Another one out. So we've got 4 of those. And then we've got the yucky mess. Now does this... Yeah, I thought that might come out. That was what the bearings were running on. And that, I should imagine, is a pressed in bush, which unless it's extremely worn I will just leave alone. That I think just needs a clean, so that's going to clean okay. I think these parts all need a good clean. This part needs a clean and the paint to come off. That's plastic, so that won't be so bad. And then this, glue on it. So I won't bore you with the cleaning process, but we'll need to clean those, and we do need to do something with this circlip, or perhaps at least find another one that's roughly the right size. In case you're wondering how I'm cleaning the parts, it's as simple as this. Alcohol, squirt some alcohol on them in a cloth, give everything a good clean. Sometimes just rubbing at it isn't enough to actually shift. You can see there's this paint that's stuck to the plastic. Paint doesn't stick well to plastic, so you can keep chipping away at it, and very often it will come off. I've had a go at trying to get this circlip to sit back more or less in the shape it was originally. Of course now it's sitting back almost as it was before. No idea how I'm going to get it back on though. Right, it's been a week since I took this apart, so I hope I can remember how to get it back together. As they say in instruction manuals, I'm going to try and put it back together in the reverse of taking it apart. So the first thing I'm going to do, which is not necessarily the first thing you would need to do, is I'm going to put these little rollers back in that go in these little holes. Now these could go in later, but then it would have to be done from the other side, and then you would have to put them in down there. Whereas if I put them in now, and hopefully they don't fall out because of the grease, then they can sit there from this side, and of course that is much easier to do. They will eventually have sitting on top of them 4 ball bearings, which you might just be able to see there. So those will sit on top of those, but on the other side. So that's what we've got so far. I'm not going to talk this all the way through, I'm just going to get on with it and you can watch and see how it goes. I'm going to try to push the circlip down into place and hope it expands into place. I'm going to try and push it down with this long socket. I cannot get a pair of circlip pliers inside there. I don't know how the original manufacturers did that, because I can't get anything to reach inside. This is not actually what I did, but a demonstration of what I did. I hit it with the hammer and it slid on, which is of course a considerable relief. Right, next I'm going to put the 4 ball bearings on that sit on top of those 4 rods that I put in right at the start. 1, 2, they just sit in a tiny little groove in the plastic. 3, 4, that's them in. It's probably not easy from the camera, but there's 2 little slots for that to sit into, so once it's in the right spot it should be fitted down. I think that's fixed it. And then we've got this little thing. I'm not sure which way round this faced. Right, I'll put some more grease in because there are 6 little rollers that need to go in, and obviously I want those to stay more or less in the right spot. And that's these little rollers here. There's that little 3-legged thing we put in, and these sit next to them. So you get 1 each side. So there's 1 there. That one sits there. And not only does the grease now make everything stick to itself, but also there's a lot of stray magnetism around in this workshop from all the work I've done over the years with magnets. I get one in and then another one falls out. Oh, I just dropped it again. Down. Right, I think that's them where they need to be. And then we've got this piece, which I don't think needs a huge amount of grease on it as it goes in. And that sits, and again it can only go in a particular spot because it's cross shaped. Right, here are the plastic parts. They've just been scrubbed in hot soapy water, so no special anything involved, just hot soapy water. They're not sparklingly new, but they're not bad. The one that suffered the worst wear and tear seems to be the trigger. You can see the trigger mechanism is a bit chewed up, but still hasn't come out too bad. Oh, and the Ryobi sign didn't survive the scrubbing. Okay, let's test it. Usual screws, same bit of wood, full of holes. If I put it on speed 1, does that make any difference? That's out. Oh yes, it's got a lot more power if you put it on speed 1. Oh yes, it's splitting the wood now. So perhaps really speed 1 is for screwdriving.